Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Tuesday, April 28th, 2015, around 7:35 in the evening, Billerica, Massachusetts. Sun's going down, still a little cool, but better days are ahead for the weather. 70s next week. Some news to report. Sad news in the world of entertainment. Singer Jack Ely, famous for the song Louie Louie, passed away at the age of 71. And that's about it on that. I'm going to wear this Baltimore Orioles hat for a long time when I do these posts because Baltimore's strong for everybody. Tomorrow's Baltimore Orioles Chicago White Sox game will be played at Camden Yards. It's not going to be open to the public, and this weekend series between the Orioles and the Rays has been moved from Camden Yards to Tropicana Field. And that's about it on that. My third and final video blog subject of the night is about the personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about former NFL quarterback Bernie Kosar. Bernie played 12 seasons in the National Football League with the Browns, Cowboys, and Dolphins, and he was a pretty decent quarterback. Bernie was born in Youngstown, Ohio, and he grew up in a suburb of Youngstown, Ohio, Boardman, Ohio. He played football and baseball in high school, and he was an All-American in football. When he was in high school, he made the Parade All-Magazine All-American team his senior year. Then he was a quarterback, so he went and he was pretty good at it. Then he went to the University of Miami. He redshirted as a freshman, and he played 2 seasons at the University of Miami. He was part of the pass-oriented offense that the University of Miami was starting to do, which made them a national powerhouse in college football. He won the Orange Bowl MVP in 1983. In 1984, his best of his 2 college seasons, Bernie had 3,642 yards and 25 touchdowns, and he finished 4th in the Heisman voting that year for best college football player in America. That was the year that Doug Flutie won the Heisman Trophy. And then, Bernie declared himself eligible. He wanted to go to the pros, the NFL draft. But back then, the NFL, only players eligible for the NFL draft, you had to be a senior in college. Back then, you were not drafted if you were not a senior. But Bernie wanted to go to play in the NFL. He had an option of playing for the USFL or the Canadian Football League, but he wanted to play for the NFL. And he was not drafted because they could not draft players if they weren't seniors. So he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 1985 supplemental draft. And then he played 12 seasons in the NFL, not most of them for the Cleveland Browns. And he was probably the Browns' best quarterback of all time. And he was very good with the Browns. 5 seasons, he had 2,000 passing yards. 1 year, he had 20 touchdown passes. 1 time, he was a Pro Bowler. 3 times, he made it to the AFC Championship game. But every time Bernie Kosar made it to the AFC Championship game, they were facing against the Denver Broncos, and the Browns lost every single time. Disappointing for Cleveland fans, disappointing for Bernie Kosar, because if he won at least one of those games, Browns would have been in a Super Bowl, and probably Bernie could have been maybe a great NFL quarterback, maybe up there with Elway and Marino and stuff like that. But towards the early 1990s, Bernie lost his starting quarterback job to the Browns because Bill Belichick was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and he didn't like Bernie Kosar's playing, so he got benched. Eventually, he got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. He was like backup to Troy Aikman, but he won a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback, and he spent the final 2 years of his NFL career as a backup to Dan Marino in Miami. And he backed up 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks to end his career, which was not pretty good for a player like Bernie Kosar, who should have been starting for an NFL team. But those things happen in the NFL. If you lose your starting job as a quarterback, no matter what team it is, it's very hard to get another one with what you're going to start, because the NFL starting quarterbacks are, to be a great one, there's not too many great ones in NFL history. And then Bernie's career stats were 1,994 passing completions. He attempted it 3,365 times, 59.3% success, 23,301 yards, 124 touchdown passes, and 87 interceptions. These stats were decent, but not Hall of Fame material. If Bernie Kosar was continued to be starting quarterback for the Browns into the mid-1990s, he could have had some great stats, which could have considered some Hall of Fame material, but he was never ever considered for the Hall of Fame. After Bernie Kosar retired from the NFL, he went into business. He owned a few restaurants. He became an owner of an Arena Football League team in Las Vegas, which he became the general manager and president of that team. He also became a color commentator for the Browns in preseason games for many years, and he had a lot of other business ventures. In fact, he lent one like a cooking grill. He lent his name to, but some of these business ventures failed Bernie Kosar, and in 2009, Bernie filed for bankruptcy. Most of the professional athletes who play in the NFL, within 5 years, they're bankrupt, and it took Bernie 13 years after he retired from the NFL to go bankrupt. He made maybe a lot of bad business choices, but he rebounded and stuff in this, and he's still big in Cleveland. He still has a few restaurants in the Cleveland area and stuff. He wore number 19 for the Browns, but that number has never been considered to be retired. And he is married. One of his daughters, whose name's Sarah, is an adult actress under stage name Lexi Starr. A lot of people think, Bernie Kosar is Jewish. They think a lot of people think he's Jewish, but when they did a documentary about the University of Miami for ESPN's 30 for 30, they interviewed Bernie Kosar. Bernie said he's actually Catholic. I didn't know that. And several times back in the mid-2000s, Bernie Kosar's name was considered to become the head coach of the University of Miami, but that was just talk and stuff. I consider Bernie Kosar maybe one of the a middle of the road NFL quarterback. If he made it to a Super Bowl, or if he had a longer career with the Browns, he probably would have been a Hall of Fame quarterback. And that's about it on Bernie Kosar, and this is about it on these video blogs of the night. Hope you enjoyed these. 3 more are coming tomorrow. First video blog will be about the tag team, the Hollywood Blondes, Flying Brian Pillman and Stunning Steve Austin from WCW in 1993. The next video blog tomorrow will be about LRTA Bus number 4, which runs from Kennedy Center in Lowell to Shaw Stevens. The third and final video blog of the night will be about former NBA player Brad Daugherty, who played his entire career with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because it's 3 straight nights of personality profiles of Cleveland sports athletes. Thursdays going to be about Jim Thome, former Indians player, and this weekend will be 3 cute, leggy, blonde meteorologists from Orlando, Florida, talking about Molly Rose and Blunt from Fox 35, and Amy Swenzy from Wish 2 NBC, and Elizabeth Hart from Local 6 in Orlando. And the top 10 list of everything and anything returns Friday, beginning with the top 10 players in Celtics history. The whole month of May will be the all 30 NBA teams' top 10 players of all time. And 7 more days until go find something to do. Any feedbacks, PM me. And if you want any subject or any shout out or any plug, PM me and I will mention it. I'm not going to be sending out shout outs or plugs if you don't tell me. Good night, and this action will not be tolerated at BMHS. That's the words of Dr. Tomaszaki. Bye. Good night.